this is the Narinak with another episode thoughts for Uta no Prince-sama, Maji Love Revolutions. And this is for episode 9, where we finally kind of finish off, I guess, the character focus episodes of the season, assuming at least, as this time we finally look at the final member of Quartet Night, Reiji. And I actually think this is definitely one of, I guess, the better character focus. I think if there's any disappointment I have is that, you know, I kind of wanted to get, like, or just know more about the character, even though we definitely see, definitely see a bit more of the character in general, and, like, his various sides. In this episode, I still think I still believe there's still so much more to be explored, but that's kind of like with all the characters, especially with Quartet Night, because they never really got any focus in the season that they were introduced in, which was the second season. And this third season, they're finally getting that introduction, but I don't know, for the most part, it just kind of leaves me wanting so much more. But overall, I think this episode, it worked really well with just giving, you know, Reiji kind of like, I guess, a good starting point of trying to figure out his character. I mean, we learned in this episode that he's basically kind of like the perfect idol, and works extremely hard and almost like non-stop. But despite that, always being kind of like cheerful. And I kind of like to really liked seeing his like interactions with Otoya and Tokia. I think they did actually that part really well with this episode, with like including them in kind of like the episode storyline, even though most of it is just kind of them kind of reacting to Reiji. And it is kind of interesting to see like the two very different reactions, where Otoya just doesn't seem like he can really measure up to Reiji, and Tokia feeling like generally kind of annoyed because he finds like Reiji just someone who's kind of difficult for him to like handle. And, you know, I really kind of like seeing that because, again, I think I mentioned it in other episode thoughts, that even though we have this whole like senpai kohai kind of system going on with Quartet Night and Starish, not much of that has actually been explored outside of like Camus and Cecil. So it's nice to in this season to see a little bit more of that, or actually kind of see that in general kind of be explored a bit. But yeah, for the basic setup for this episode, Reiji kind of needs a solo song, since it'll be a theme song for a variety program that he's on with Otoya and Tokia. And so of course Haruka comes by to, you know, do her thing, because, you know, as she explains to Reiji, the way that she composes her music is that she kind of gets to know the person first, and from that knowledge she's able to basically come up with the perfect song for them. So we pretty much basically get that with, you know, her just kind of spending more time with Reiji. And it is kind of nice to see that, you know, he is like very serious about the whole idol thing, and really puts a lot of work and effort into it. And I don't know, it's like, I kind of hoped that they would go a little further into his backstory, and because I kind of know of it from what it was in the game, and I would have loved to see that explored, but I can kind of understand why, because, you know, this episode just zoomed by so fast, and, you know, you got to the end, and there just wasn't time to really fit all that stuff in, and it kind of brings back my frustration that this series, you know, it only runs like for 13 episodes for each season. I would have I really would like to see it go much longer than that, so that way we can really kind of delve into like backstories and stuff like that. Like I really want. So thus again, I hope for another season. Uh, as I felt, as well, kind of looking back at the other two seasons, it definitely feels like the second season worked very well with kind of delving in a little bit more with the Stars characters, so it would be perfect to have a fourth season so we can delve into like more Stars, more Quartet Night. I mean, the fact that we didn't even learn that I was like a robot until this season, even though he was introduced in the previous season. I mean, there's still plenty to kind of, I guess, story-wise to go through with this series, considering, you know, what's in the games. Of course, they've changed quite a bit, but that, it doesn't mean that, you know, some of those storylines still can't be used. And of course, I don't think I'm ever going to be happy unless, you know, I keep getting more of the series. But yeah, other than that, you know, like I said, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Really like to see that even though we still get a lot of, like, kind of goofball, ragey, we do get to see, you know, that kind of more serious side to him at times. I do kind of like the fact that he drives around in an old Volkswagen Bug. I know, there's something kind of interesting about that. Especially with the fact that, you know, with this like, we had camera lingering on it. It's like, it's a bug. I mean, I guess because I live here in America and I kind of grew up seeing those cars, like, kind of dots the roads and such, you know, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't quite seem like something that you would want to really showcase and linger on. Though, like Haruka kind of brings up, it is a cute car, so it somehow kind of fits Reiji. Oh, and I do like the moments in the episode where I actually seems to almost kind of miss Reiji, where, you know, Reiji's off doing this work, I guess it was overseas, and he brings up that it's so quiet with just the three of them. It definitely feels like, you know, maybe the bonds of Quartet Night have grown a little bit, that, you know, they could actually possibly admit that sometimes they miss Reiji when he's not around, despite the fact that, you know, they keep giving him the cold shoulder whenever he is around. Of course, that kind of makes me remember, like, one of the things that I guess really showed what an impressive idol Reiji is this fact that during that Friday program, Otoya and Tokiya have to host it without Reiji, but they have, like, a VTR show up, or what they say is like a broadcast from where he is, and then afterwards Reiji shows up and we learn that it was actually all pre-recorded, but which is kind of amazing since it actually has, like, Tokiya and Otoya actually kind of talking, like, to it without actually realizing that it's not a live broadcast. So that kind of amazes them, the fact that, you know, Reiji's, like, that on point. And honestly, I think after learning just how, I guess, perfect he is as an idol, I'm kind of glad that, you know, he does kind of get the cold shoulder from Quartet Night and everything, because it seems like a good balance. Because I think a character like him that would only get positive stuff, like if it was all, like, well loved by everyone, as in the cast of characters, it would seem like too much. So having that kind of balanced out by the fact that, you know, no one in, like, Quartet Night really cares so much, about his antics, I think really kind of works, you know, with the character to, like I said, to just kind of balance out things so he doesn't seem like he's too perfect. And I think with that more or less, oh no, because even though we do get kind of the usual song at the end of the episode, it actually does not end the episode like it has been quite a bit this series, or season. Instead, we do get a scene after it where Reiji goes ahead and, of course, brings up the Triple S, asking Haruka that, you know, he definitely wants her to write the song for Quartet Night for it. So I think with that, that's probably a lead-in to, like, the next episode where, well, basically the only thing left to do for the series is to actually kind of focus in on the, the season plot line that they've kind of put on hold. I mean, they've kind of made mentions to the whole Triple S thing, but, and of course, even in this episode kind of bring up that, you know, Starsh with their cross-unit thing that Shiny Satomi came up with, that kind of definitely helped elevate Starsh in general. And of course, you know, they want to compete to perform in the Triple S. So I'm assuming that's what we're going to get with the next episode, is just kind of switching over to that. And that'll be kind of interesting to see where it goes, because I'm not really sure. You know, despite the fact that this series is pretty much, you know, has a very set formula, it definitely seems to be changing up a little bit this season, which I think probably is in part just because, you know, they got to dedicate a few more episodes to, you know, the characters, because they are doing, like, the Quartet Night stuff, but at the same time they also did the cross-unit stuff, which probably saved them a bit too. But in any case, usually, you know, they hold off on, like, at least one character to be, like, later in the series kind of episode focus. So with this season, they're definitely changing it compared to the past two seasons. So it'd be interesting to, you know, see where it goes for the rest of the season. And of course, you know, I'm now caught up, so I'll definitely be, or now I've got to, you know, do the whole weekly wait thing for a new episode, which I'm not really looking forward to, but then again, there'll be new episodes, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Definitely will not look forward to hitting that last episode of this season and there not being more. Again, I'm hoping that they do come back for a fourth season and maybe don't wait nearly as long as they did between the second and the third. But yeah, I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and finish up here. So thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel, leave a like or comment. Until next time, bye!